Hello, Mr. So today, right now, I'll be doing my J where I will be talking about my two key learning points from my peers coaching session and how I'll be using it in my own session. And to add on, I will also be talking about what I learned from my own session as well. So for today, right, the first key coaching learning point for me was having a good having good key coaching points uh, because after you mentioned the rubrics, right, I decided to come up with a key coaching point last minute, and it was quite here wire. It was not perfect, and as I was creating it, right, the key coaching points tend to be a bit complicated. So one of the learning point I take away from was Tayshawn. He was doing the same skill as me, which is penetration pass. However, for him is he was focusing more on the run up itself. So his key coaching points was just on the run up. So however, for me it was not the same case because mine was for both the passer and the receiver. So learning from Tayshawn, right, I feel like my whole session should be more focused on either receiver or passer itself, and my key coaching point should be based on either one of the person, and this will be easier for me to coach and focus on one person much easier. And another person I learn for key coaching points is from Dini. Her coaching points were very simple, and they were also very effective because STF stands triangle follow through. So she also implemented using the syllabus. So she said instead of saying stance triangle follow through, right, she said STF, making it easier for the players to remember as well. My second key coaching point was, no, my second key learning point was from Yelu. During my session, one of the difficulties I had was Q&A, and for whatever reason, right, I wasn't able to get the answer, and I decided to give up and give the answer. However, what Yellow did was that he did not give up. So instead of giving away the answer, what he did was he used a specific movement of the game one to, and then bring it up in the Q&A and talk about what were the struggles that that player was facing during that moment. And this way it was easier for him to uh, close down the ideas into that one point, and then he was able to get the answer from that movement itself. So what I was able to learn from him was that even if I'm not able to get the answer right, I can basically narrow down to the one moment that happened in game one, and then make ensure players reflect on it and able to analyze it to make sure that they are able to get the answers that they are supposed to get as well. So my first one was having a good KCP, which I learned from Teshon and Dini, and the second one was from Yellow, which was uh, doing Q&A using a movement or using a period of time that happened in game one. So yeah, and for my own session, right, what I some of the mistake I made was the Q&A, which I mentioned earlier. Another mistake was that it was quite complicated when I set up the items itself. So because of that, my practice task 1 and 2 tend to become a bit more confusing. So I think for that case, right, I feel like what I can do is basically set up the markers, because I don't know if you remember, but the last RJ, right, I mentioned that using the line on the court itself to mark as the playing area, but I tried it out today and it did not really help out. It wasn't effective. So I think for the ESA or for the next coaching session, right, what I'll be doing is putting out markers, especially try put out use the flat markers to place it there, so it's less of a danger issue. And other than that, I don't think there are any other things that I could improve on. And yep, that's all from me. Thank you.